Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Hare Krishna. So we are on this chapter now, the seventh chapter of the book, Krishna Consciousness, the Topmost Yoga System. The chapter is entitled How Bhakti Yoga Works. So this chapter interestingly comes from an article in 1967 in the Back to Godhead magazine. But as we have been discussing earlier, these articles in the early days were also based on many various lectures of Srila Prabhupada. So this article actually comes from two sources, two lectures, in fact. One is on December 30th, 1966. Srila Prabhupada gave a class on Bhagavad Gita in New York. And the other half of this essay or this chapter we're going to read comes from a lecture on the 1st of January, 1967, also in New York. So it's the evening lecture and Srila Prabhupada is speaking on Bhagavad Gita. So let us see what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us. So how Bhakti Yoga works. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells his disciple Arjuna, I am disclosing a most confidential part of knowledge to you because you are my friend. Okay, so this is the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says to Arjuna, why he's speaking this secret, Rahasyam, Uttama Rahasyam, the topmost secret, is because Arjuna is his friend as well as devotee. Sa evayam mayatedya yoga prokta puratana bhakto sime sakacheti rahasyam yetat uttamam. Like that. So then back to the book. As is stated in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, is spoken to Arjuna because of his one qualification. He was a devotee. The Lord says that the mystery of the Bhagavad Gita is very confidential. Rahasyati etat uttamam. Without being an unalloyed devotee, you cannot know it. Srila Prabhupada then says in India, there are 645 different commentaries on the Gita. One professor had proposed that Krishna is a doctor and Arjuna is his patient. So this is one doctor in Mumbai at the time, where Srila Prabhupada, don't really remember, not the name is not clear, but Prabhupada says there's this one doctor in Mumbai who wrote his own commentary on Gita. And he says that because he's a doctor, he's a physician, so he spoke about anatomy and this and that, and said that how Krishna is like a doctor and Arjuna is the patient. Okay? So this person has made his commentary in that way. Similarly, there are commenters and people who have taken it that everyone is perfect and that they can interpret scripture in their own way. As far as we are concerned, we agree to read the Bhagavad Gita according to the instructions given in the Gita itself. So we don't want to interpret, extrapolate, right? Create false conclusions of the Bhagavad Gita. This has to be taken through parampara, the system of disciplic succession. It is being taught by the Supreme Person. Because you are my friend, I desire you may become prosperous and happy. Therefore, I speak to you. So therefore, many people like to study Bhagavad Gita. Many people want to know Bhagavad Gita. But the first qualification, if someone wants to understand Gita, one should be ready to become a devotee of Krishna. Because without being a devotee, one will not understand Gita, as Krishna himself is saying. Krishna wants everyone to be happy and peaceful and prosperous, but they do not want it. God wants everyone to be happy, peaceful, and prosperous, but people themselves are harming themselves. Sunshine is open to everyone, but if someone wishes to remain in darkness, what can the sunshine do for him? So the Gita is open to everyone. There are different species of life and lower and higher grades of understanding exist. That is a fact. But Krishna says that this knowledge is for everyone. If one has lower birth or whatever, it does not matter. Bhagavad Gita offers transcendental subject matter everyone can understand, provided he goes along with the principle as stated in the fourth chapter, that what we just saw, that one should be ready to become a devotee. So then all the secrets of the Gita will be revealed. That is, that the Gita is coming down in disciplic succession. Okay, so this is the shloka. Evam parampara praptam imam raja rishayo vidu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. So this is fourth chapter of Gita, second verse. I first of all instructed this yoga system to the sun god Vivaswan, who taught it to Manu, who taught it to Ikshvaku. From Krishna, the disciplic succession is coming down, but in course of time, the disciplic succession was broken. Arjuna is therefore made the new disciple. In the second chapter, Arjuna surrenders. Okay, Arjuna is Karpanya dosho. So he's actually saying this 2.7, second chapter, 7th verse. He's saying that so far as we have been talking as friends, but now I accept you as my spiritual master. Anyone following the principle in this line accepts the guru as Krishna, and the student must represent Arjuna. Krishna is speaking as the spiritual master of Arjuna, and Arjuna says, whatever you say, I accept. Read it like that. So Prabhupada is saying, when you study Gita, accept it. Whatever Krishna is speaking, we should accept. Not that I like this, so I accept it. I don't like this, so I reject it. One should not pick and choose in Bhagavad Gita. It's not a buffet. It's a buffet. You can choose what you like. So Bhagavad Gita should not be dissected in that way. Such reading is a useless nonsense. Then Prabhupada continues. The teacher must be a representative of Krishna, a devotee, and the student must be like Arjuna. Then this Krishna conscious study is perfect. Otherwise, it is a waste of time. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, if anyone wants to understand the signs of Krishna, he should associate with pure devotees. When discussions take place among pure devotees, the potency of the spiritual language is revealed. So the verse mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada is 3rd canto, 25th verse, 25th chapter, 25th verse. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. In the association of satam, of devotees, satam prasangan, what do the devotees discuss? Mama, Krishna's virya samvido, Krishna's wonderful chivalrous activities. Bhavanti hirkarna rasayana katha. And this is so pleasing to the hridayam, heart, and the ear, karna. Tajjoshanat ashu apavarga vartmani. And very quickly by this cultivation, what will happen? Shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. Faith and loving devotion, step by step, it will slowly manifest. Like this. Okay. So, scholarly discussions of the Gita is futile. In the Upanishads, it is stated, to one who has firm faith in God and similar faith in God's representative, the Guru, then all the import of Vedic knowledge will be revealed. So this is also from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Right? It's in this purport here. Yasya deve para bhakti. That means one who has faith onto the Supreme Lord, deve. Yata deve tata guru. And same way one has the faith into a spiritual master. Tasya ite katita hi artha. He actually gets the real import of the meaning. Prakashante mahatmana. Right? So this that Prabhupada is mentioning here. We must have the qualification of being a devotee. Become dear to God. My spiritual master used to say, don't try to see God. Act in such a way that God will see you. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur would always emphatically say, don't try to come in front of the darshan and thinking that God, look at me, God, look at me, or you try to see God. No, act in such a way, serve in such a way, be a nice devotee in such a way that God will take interest in you. Right? So again, Prabhupada is emphasizing that Bhagavad Gita is not a book to, philosophically analyze or scholarly study it, but it's actually a book of devotion that if really one wants to understand this transcendental science, one should become a devotee. We have to qualify ourselves, Prabhupada says. By your qualification, God himself will come and see you. If one can perceive God, he is transcendental to all material demands. We are always dissatisfied in the material world in circumstance that we won't continue. Right? Happiness is temporary, and temporary plight also will not exist for much time. Cold, heat, duality, it's all coming and going. It's Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? 2nd chapter, 14th verse. Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha. They all agama, apayinu. They come and they go. You can't do anything about it. To get to the absolute stage is the process of Krishna consciousness. So in this world, we are all so much disturbed and dissatisfied because the world is in a constant flux. It is constantly changing, and change is very painful. Krishna is seated in everyone's heart, and as you become purified, he will show you the path. And in the end, when you quit this body, you will go to the spiritual sky. No one knows me, Krishna says. My influence, my power, and my extent. Even the Maharishis, the great thinkers, the great sages, they do not know I am the origin of all the demigods and the origin of all the rishis. So this is also a verse in Bhagavad Gita, which Srila Prabhupada is quoting. This is 10.2. Na me vidu suragana. The suragana, the devatas, they do not know me. Prabhavam na maharishaya. Even the maharishis do not know my greatness. Aham adirhi devanam. I am the origin of all the devatas. Maharishinam cha sarvasha. And even the maharishis. Krishna is saying like this in Bhagavad Gita. There are so many forefathers we do not know of. And there are Brahma and the demigods. What do we know? We can't reach the platform where we can grasp God. We gather knowledge by limited senses, and Krishna can't be reached by the mind, the center of the senses. So here Prabhupada is saying that so many things we don't know in life. What about us? Even the great devatas, even the great rishis do not understand Krishna. So who are we to think that I can fully understand God? Imperfect senses can't grasp perfect knowledge. Mind and sense manipulation can't reach him. If you engage the senses in the service of the Lord, however, then he will reveal himself through the word, through your senses. People may say, what is the use of understanding God? What is the use? Let him stay in his place. Let me stay in my place. Right? Lord, you be happy in your place. I'll be happy in my place. Right? But in the Shastras, the scriptures, it is stated that pious activities will raise us to beauty, knowledge, and good birth. That is the effect of piety. And that impious, sinful, papa activities, we suffer. The cause of suffering is sin. Suffering is always there, pious or impious. But the distinction is made. Prabhupada saying that ultimately, whether punya or papa, both are suffering. Because punya means you have to take birth again in this material world. As in a good family, even if you're born beautiful, even if you're born smart, even if you're born in a good family, still one has to face birth, death, old age, and disease. Right? Any birth in the material world, whether good or bad, is always bad. Srila Prabhupada sometimes gives this example of first-class prisoner and second-class prisoner, or third-class prisoner. So the first-class prisoner, some VIPs who go to jail, they may have nice toilets and nice rooms and sofa and TV, but they're still a prisoner. So someone having good birth, good knowledge, good family, but still in the material world, you're a first-class prisoner. Isn't it? So we're not interested at all to continue the sojourn in the material world. He who knows God, however, becomes freed from all possible sinful reactions, which no amount of piety can accomplish. If we reject God, we can never be happy. Okay. Not even considering human society. If you take the demigods who are more advanced and intelligent, they also don't know Krishna, like it's mentioned in that verse we recently discussed. The 7 great sages whose planets is near the North Star also do not know. This is Sapta Rishi or the Sapta Rishi Mandal in astronomy. They call it the Big Dipper in English. Krishna says, I am the original, the source of all these demigods. Aham Adir Hidevanam. He's the father of everything, not only the origin of the demigods, but also the sages and the universe. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes how the universal form took place and everything is emanating from him. Also, Krishna is the origin of Paramatma, the super soul, and the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. The shining effulgence is in him. Krishna is the origin of this. Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Krishna says also in Bhagavad Gita. Of everything, of every conception, I am the source. The absolute truth may be realized in 3 phases, but is one non-dual truth. Right? This we saw in Srimad Bhagavatam many times. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The Supreme Absolute Lord, Krishna, is understood in 3 ways. You can understand him as an impersonal light. You can understand him as the localized Paramatma, or you can understand him as he is in his personality. Brahman, the glowing effulgence, localized super soul, and Bhagavan, the Supreme Person, are the 3 features or aspects of God. So now actually this comes in the second part of the lecture, like I was mentioning in the beginning. This comes from January 1, 1967 in New York. Okay, second part. If one knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if no one knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how can he be known? He can be known when the Supreme Lord comes before you and reveals himself to you. So Lord has given full knowledge. Now, there are people who say that, no, God has not given full knowledge. It is only after we leave this world that when we go back to the kingdom of God, then full knowledge comes. But the question comes, what is the point then? After everything is done and over with, then when you go back, then you get the knowledge. What is the point? So Krishna doesn't do that. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, hey Arjun, I'm now revealing complete knowledge onto you, of which there is nothing further to be known. Because while we are stuck here, we should have the complete understanding, isn't it? So Krishna comes and Krishna gives us the complete understanding, and because it is possible because he reveals it. Then you can know. Our senses are imperfect and they cannot realize the supreme truth. When you adopt a submissive attitude and chant, because chant means seva, realization begins from the tongue. What a beautiful line. To eat and to vibrate sound is the business of the tongue. So Prabhupada says bhakti begins from the tongue. Tongue has two functions, to taste and to vibrate, to make sound, speak. If you can control your tongue for prasadam, spiritual food, and make the sound vibration of the holy name, then by surrender of the tongue, you can control all other senses. Okay? So it begins from the tongue. Actually, this is a shloka, what Prabhupada is quoting. So we look at it here. This comes in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami writes this. Ataf Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grayam indraye. So you cannot understand with your senses, na bhavet grayam indra. You cannot grasp with your senses the Krishna Nama, Krishna Rupa, Krishna Dhama, Krishna Leela, Krishna Nama Adi. All these things about Krishna we cannot grasp with our senses. Sevon mukehi jivado. But by service, by the principle of service, engaging in his service, using the tongue, swayam eva spuratyada, that knowledge will become revealed to us. Okay. If you cannot control your tongue, you cannot control your senses. To taste prasadam and become spiritually advanced, Prabhupada says. So many times Prabhupada says, no, we are eating our way back to Godhead. Just by tasting prasadam, eating prasadam, we are getting advancement. You can have this process at your home. Prabhupada saying, so practical. Offer vegetarian food to Krishna. Of course, vegetarian means without onion, garlic, sattvic food, without onion, garlic, mushrooms, so on and so forth. Eggs are out of the question. They are not even vegetarian. Right? Offer vegetarian foods to Krishna, chant the Hare Krishna mantra and offer obeisances to the Lord when you offer. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo. Like that, this is a pranam mantra, one of the pranam mantras for Krishna. We are glorifying him. So Prabhupada is saying that the process is very easy. Anyone can offer and then take the food with friends and chant before the picture of Lord Krishna and lead a pure life. Just see the result. The whole world will become Vaikuntha, where there is no anxiety. Right? So this desire to lead a pure life has to be awakened within ourselves, and we have to help others to awaken it. We should have that desire that I want to live a pure life. Okay? So Prabhupada is very confident of this food prasadam distribution program as a means, prasadam distribution and holy name distribution. Many times actually, even before Prabhupada came to India, Prabhupada has tried it. Even before Prabhupada came to the US, in India, Prabhupada had tried, writing to many big officials, telling them just do Harinam and Prasad distribution. No one took it seriously. When Prabhupada came to America, New York was having a lot of issues, social issues. Prabhupada told the local magistrate, collector, district officer that just arrange for Prasadam distribution and holy name. Everything will be okay. But they didn't take it too seriously. So now ISKCON temples all over the world are doing this, are trying to do this. And this is one of the main duties of all devotees. Just distribute prasadam freely and distribute holy name freely. And by hearing the sound vibration as a sound vibration and this taste vibration is going to every nook and corner, the entire ethos and the atmosphere is being surcharged spiritually. All is anxious with us because we have accepted this material life. We are always in anxiety. Just the opposite is so in spiritual life. Spiritual life means no anxiety. No one, however, knows how to get out of the material concept. Taking an intoxicant does not help. Sometimes people are so frustrated, they go into intoxications, but that doesn't help. The same anxieties are there when you are finished being drunk, right? You smoke, you drink, and once people sober up, the problem is still there. It has not been solved. If you want to be free and want life eternal with bliss and knowledge, take to Krishna. Right? Prabhupada's pitch. That if you really want happiness, if you really want freedom, then take to Krishna consciousness. No one can know God, but there is this way, the process of Krishna consciousness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that no one can conquer him or approach him, but he becomes conquered. How? So this is a shloka, there's actually a prayer of Lord Brahma, that Lord Krishna cannot be conquered, but still he is conquered. How? So here Brahma says, Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. He says, give up this speculation, mental speculation. Stop trying to speculate about God. Stop trying to speculate about spiritual life. Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. Throw it off. Give up your mental gymnastics and namanta eva. Just surrender unto the Lord. Jivanti sanmukaritam bhavadhiya vartam. And hear and live your life simply just trying to chant the Bhavadiya Vartam, the topics related to the Supreme Lord. Sthane stita shrutigatam tanuvan manobir. It doesn't matter what position you are in life, stay where you are, no issues. Be situated in your current position, but with your body, mind, and words, tanuvan manobir, engage in the service of the Lord. Ye praya. So by doing this activity, ajita jito, he who is Ajita, God is known as Ajita. Ajita cannot be conquered. Ajita. He who is Ajita, ye praya, so Ajita Jito, he becomes Jita. You can win over, you can conquer over the unconquerable Lord. Apitais trilokyam. Right. So it's a beautiful prayer by Brahma. This is 10th canto, 14th chapter, 3rd verse. Okay, so he's saying, let people remain in their own positions. Remember, sthane sthita. But let them give up nonsense speculation through volumes of books. Jnane prayasam udapasya namanta eva. Then Prabhupada says, thousands of books are printed and read, and after 6 months, throw away. You see, many people buy newspapers, magazines, books, they read it. After some time, they're done with it, they just recycle them. Give them away, recycle them, or throw them away. Or newspapers used to wipe windows, wrap something. That is the value of that knowledge. Can you imagine? It's just 6 months, short term, something, done with it, throw it off. This way and that. How can you know the Supreme by speculation on the information supplied by your blunt senses? Give up research, throw it away. Just become submissive. Acknowledge that you are limited and subordinate to the material nature and to God. It's very important. So many people, they try to understand God. They say, no, I will do it. But we need a humble attitude. Realize that we are nothing, that we do not know anything. Lord is so great, so brilliant. No one can equal to or greater than God. That's why he is called in Sanskrit language, Shruti mantra say, Asama Urdhva, Asama Urdhva, Asama na Urdhva. No one can equal to him, no one can be greater than him. So be submissive, Prabhupada is saying. Try to hear about the glories of the Supreme Lord from authorized sources. Such authority is handed over by disciplic succession. If we can understand by the same authority as Arjuna, that is real authority. God is always ready to reveal. You just become Krishna conscious. Follow the path traversed by great acharyas, the devoted acharyas, and then everything will be known. Although he is unconquerable, Ajita, and unknowable, he can be known in your home. Prabhupada saying, home delivery. If you take to this process and follow the principles, what will be the result? As soon as you understand, you will know that the Supreme Lord is the cause of all causes, but that he is not caused by any other cause. He is Sarva Karana Karanam. And he is the master of all planets. Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. This is not accepted blindly. God has given you the power of reason, the power of arguing. But don't argue falsely. So Prabhupada says, use your brains, not to say don't just believe it, but use your brains and try to understand. And actually we can perceive that, yes, this is the truth. But don't do false argumenting. If you want to know the transcendental science, you must surrender. Surrender to authority and know him by signs. Don't surrender to a fool or a rascal. Find one who is coming in disciplic succession, who is actually coming in a parampara, one who is fully convinced about the Supreme Personality of God. So one time devotees asked Prabhupada, how do you know who is a guru? He said, just find that person who is most addicted to Krishna. One who is most addicted to God, that is actually guru. If you find such a person, surrender and try to please him, serve him, question him. Tat vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So when one sees a guru, one approaches the guru, pleases the guru, serves the guru, and try to question and answer. That's the natural way to get knowledge. Surrender unto him is surrender to God. Question to learn, not to waste time. Many people ask questions just simply for the sake of asking questions, not like that. When you ask a question, it's because of understanding, not to waste time. The process is there, but if we waste time by intoxication, we will never see him, the unconquerable Lord, Ajita. Follow the principles and slowly but surely, without a doubt, you will know. Yes, I am making progress, you will say. Right? So all of us who take up Krishna consciousness, we have definitely seen the changes in our lives, the progress, or whatever it may be. And it is very easy, and you can execute it and be in a happy mood. Right? So Prabhupada always says that a good devotee, how do you know that a devotee is progressing? Is a happy devotee, not a, cribbing devotee. Study, take part with music, eat prasadam. So nice. Study, dance, chant, music, and take prasadam. And no one can cheat you by this process. But if you want to be cheated, then go to others. Become cheated. Try to understand it from authoritative source and apply it in your life. Among the dying mortals, you will become the most intelligent because you are freed from sinful actions. If you act only for Krishna, then you are freed from all reactions. You will have no anxiety over what is auspicious or inauspicious because you will be in touch with the most auspicious. So one is not worried about the so-called this and that, but one is Krishna conscious. This is the process. Ultimately, we can get in touch with Krishna. Life will be successful. Anyone can adopt it because it is very simple. Here's a nice formula presented by Krishna himself. One should understand the position of Krishna. He is unborn and without a cause. He's Aja. He's unborn and without a cause, no akaranam. We have experienced, all of us, that we are born and we have a cause. Who's the cause of our appearance? Our father is the cause. If someone poses himself as God, he has to prove that he is unborn and uncaused. Our practical experience is that we are born. Krishna is not born. Right? That's why Krishna says, Janma karma cha me divyam. My so-called appearance, my activities, they're divya, they're transcendental, they're not like us, ordinary. We have to understand this to be firmly convinced he is the cause. Even Krishna, the circumstances around Krishna's appearance also amazing. Krishna did not come out of the womb. Right? Krishna appeared in the heart of Vasudeva and then was transferred to the heart of Devaki, and he appeared outside of them like that. Understanding this is to be firmly convinced that he is the cause, but is not caused. And since he is not caused, he is the proprietor of all manifestation. One who understands this simple philosophy is not illusion. We are generally illusion. We are claiming ownership of the land. But before my birth, the land was here. And after my death, it will still be here. How long will I go on claiming in this body after body? This is my land. This is my land. Is it not nonsense? One has to come out of illusion. For some time, we own some plot, some property, and it's gone. It was never ours. It will never be ours. But when we are there, we think this is the most prized possession I have. Actually, Krishna consciousness is the most prized possession. We should know that whatever we are doing in the material concept of life is illusion. We have to understand whether we are illusioned or not. And all conditioned souls are illusion. He who learns to be disillusioned gets free from all encumbrances, all difficulties. If we want freedom from all bonds, then we have to understand God. There is no neglecting this. This is our prime duty. There is no way around it. The whole goal of life is to come to understand our existence and God. Out of millions of entities, one may be enlightened. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Generally, we are all born fools. As soon as I take birth, I am nurtured by my parents and educated to falsely claim a land as my own. National education means to make you more foolish. Am I not foolish? I am changing my body like a dress, life after life. You have so many minds, so many dresses. Why do you claim this one? Past life, I could have been something else. Next life, so many things we have already tried out. We have been in so many nationalities. We have been in so many species, so many births, so many castes, languages, creeds. Why are we claiming holding on to one? Why don't you understand? This dress is nice. This body is nice, But next moment, I may be in another dress, another body. You are in the grip of nature. You cannot say what dress you would like to have. Right? Nature, make me American. No. Material nature controls. If you live like a dog, here, take a dog's dress, dog's body. If you live a godly life, here, take a godly life, take God. So none of us, before birth, kind of like fill up a form. I would like to born in this country. I would like to have these parents. I would like to have these looks. I would like to have these brains. I think I like to born in this religion. Nobody chooses, isn't it? Right? Because it's not a choice. Right? Out of many fools, someone tries to understand what I actually am. Right? This is out of so many fools, someone who's a little intelligent, they start thinking, why? Why did I take birth? Why? Why this? Dog, American, Russian. This real inquiry goes on. If you inquire, you have to ask someone, not just yourself. That's true. How long will you go on asking yourself? When crossing the street in a place you do not know, you have to ask the policeman or some gentleman. For what I am, you have to go to an authority also. To understand yourself also, you have to go to an authority. What is a spiritual master? He is a person conversant with the signs of Krishna. Krishna Tattva Vetta. He is very expert in Krishna Tattva. Say Guru Hoy. Ordinarily, nobody inquires. But if a man does, he can make progress and come to this understanding. So Prabhupada says that we have developed this jigyasa, we have developed this inquiry, inquisitiveness, great. But we should also inquire. Generally, people don't want to inquire, but then they cannot progress if they don't. Krishna is the cause of all causes. 4 kinds of people, followers of scripture and higher authority, inquire about Krishna. So who are the 4 kinds of people who inquire about Krishna? That is mentioned in this verse in Bhagavad Gita 7.16. Chatur vida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna arto jigyasu artha arti jnani cha bharata arshava. So 4 kinds of people. Those who are distressed, those who are in need of something, those who are inquisitive, and those who actually want to know things as they are. Those addicted to sinful activities cannot inquire. They go on in intoxication. The righteous, pious man inquires and goes to God. Facility is given to people in this process by the authority to make people happy, not to exploit people. The purpose of ISKCON is, in this way, to understand the signs of God. You want happiness? Here it is. Prabhupada says, you are distressed by sinful reactions, but if there is no sinful reaction, there is no suffering. One who knows Krishna without doubt is relieved of all reactions. Krishna says, come to me and I will give you freedom from all reactions. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarva dharman parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Forget everything, just come to me. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami. I will settle all your sinful problems and reactions. Ma sucha, don't worry. Don't disbelieve it. Ma sucha. He can give you shelter. He has all power. If I give you such a promise, because I have no such power, I may break the promise. So someone comes and says, look, guys, don't worry, I am there for you. But then who is there for us? Isn't it? We ourselves are so fallible. How can we give shelter to others? But here is Krishna. He's so powerful, supremely powerful. He's saying, don't worry, come to me, I'll give you shelter. If you associate yourself with Krishna consciousness, your dormant relationship with Krishna will be evoked. You have a relationship with him. There is no question of disbelieving. It is simply foolishness. The dormant relationship is there. You want to serve Krishna, but simply by the spell of illusion, we think we have no connection with Krishna. This is foolishness. Ultimately, all jivas, all spirit souls are eternally connected with God, and God is Krishna. So everyone, regardless of caste or creed, everyone is connected to Krishna. But because of illusion, because of Maya, because of thinking yourself this body, we think that we have nothing to do with Krishna. Again, so Prabhupada continues, we go on doing all independent nonsense and we are always anxious. So Prabhupada says independent, because we think we're independent, but actually we're very dependent. When we associate with these dormant feelings of Krishna, however, we will become engaged in Krishna consciousness. God is unborn indicates that he is different from the material world. We have no such experience of the unborn. The city was born, history is filled with dates. Spiritual nature, however, is unborn, and at once we can see the difference. The material nature is born. You have to understand, if Krishna is unborn, then he is spiritual, not like one of us. Krishna is not some extraordinary person who is also born. He is not born. So how can I decide that he is an ordinary man? So here is that Srila Prabhupada explained that sometimes people say that Krishna is just an ordinary person, a historical figure, a very famous personality. But no, Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, the Janma Karma Chame Divyam, his birth, his appearance is all transcendental. Krishna says, Sambhavami Atma Mayaya, I appear according to my own will. Right? Krishna says in 9:11, Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter 11th verse, Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanum ashritaha. Parambhavam ajananto. They do not understand my supreme divine nature. They think that just because I appear looking like them, that I am one of them. Right? And appear like human, I am one of them. Those who are fools and rascals think me as an ordinary man. Krishna says in the Gita, 9 chapter 11th verse. He is different from everything in this world. He is anadi, without cause. Krishna may be spiritual, but there are other spiritual bodies. We have a spiritual body like Krishna's, but they are born. So we are actually, soul is spiritual, but we have now this material body. They are not exactly born. It is like sparks of a fire. So we are all spirits, right? Origin from Lord. God is unborn, but we are created in one sense. So Prabhupada says not born, but just like a sparks of the fire. The fire has small sparks that emanate from him. We are emanations, prabhava of the Supreme Lord. That's why we cannot become God, but we are godly, actually. The sparks are not born from the fire. They're actually there. They are part of the fire. We are also not born. We are sparks that come out from the original form. Even if we are not born, the sparks comes out of Krishna, so we are different. Okay, although we are not born in the sense, the soul is not born, but the soul having emanated from Krishna, in one sense, is different, right? Just like sparks are different from fire, but sparks and fire are one the same. The sparks of the fire are fire, but they are not the original fire. As for quality, we are the same as Krishna. It is like the difference between a father and a son. Father and the son are different and non-different at the same time. The son is an expansion of the father, but he cannot claim that he is the father. That would be nonsense. So many times when someone wants to give something to an award or some kind of remuneration, and the father is supposed to read it. When the father cannot accept it, the son comes as the representative, and that's considered bona fide. Naturally, the heir, the assets of the father go automatically to the son because it's considered he's like the father, although he's not the father. Everyone knows. Because Krishna is declaring himself the supreme proprietor, he is therefore different from anything. If I am the proprietor of New York State, I am still not New York State. In every step, there is duality. No one can say that we are completely one with God because it's not possible. When you can understand Krishna is in your own position, it is in a nice analytical way, then at once you become free from sinful reactions. This process will help you. Chant Hare Krishna and cleanse your mind, and you will receive the message. One has to be qualified. If you chant and hear for no payment, you will approach God. Robert's amazing line. Because many fake gurus and all that, they're saying, give me this much money, then I'll show you God. Prabhupada says, just chant and hear. No payment, you will approach God. All things will become clear and illuminated. So like that, we end the 7th chapter of this book. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.